John, we are at the National Convention for 2024. What a historic day. How do you feel?
Well, I feel great and very optimistic about the future of the country today because we've got opposition parties coming around a table to discuss a future blueprint for South Africa. But here's the thing, this isn't about the politicians. This is about the people sitting at home. This is about the mother sitting around a table who can't put food on the table for the family. This is about the unemployed graduate who's sitting at home and cannot find work. This is about the businesses that have had to shut down because of load shedding. This is about the citizens who cower in their homes in fear of the violent criminals and criminality that stalk South Africa every day. These next 2 days are going to be about those South Africans, how we rescue South Africa from the clutches of corruption and maladministration, and how we start to chart a blueprint for a new, exciting future of prosperity, hope, and opportunity for all South Africans.
John, why was it important for you to call on opposition parties to unite ahead of 2024?
It was important because we have to get the ANC out of office. It is not healthy in a democracy to have one party in power for 30 years. A healthy democracy has transfers of powers between parties. And we have the best chance in this next election to unseat the ANC if the opposition can get its act together, be mature, stop being petty and having all these silly little fights, and focusing on the people, how we build a path to power to ensure that we can rescue South Africa and liberate our people from the clutches of corruption, maladministration, poor government.
So why did the parties represented in the convention choose this particular venue?
Well, this venue is an historic venue because this is where our democracy was first planned. This is where CODESA took place. It's where the transition into the new South Africa was birthed. But it's time now for a new transition. It's time to write the next chapter in South Africa's story. And that's what I'm so excited about. And this venue is historic, and I believe it will be a good venue for us to start planning this next transition as we set out to resolve the problems that South Africans are facing at home. Many South Africans are nervous, afraid, worried, and concerned about not only their future, but the future of their children. We hope that this venue and the choice of it will show you that when we can come together around a table and come up with solutions, we can change things for the good. And that's what we hope to achieve over the next 2 days.
So, but leading up to this national convention, there were obviously a lot of preparations. Run us through the moments leading up to today.
Yeah, a lot of preparations. These things don't happen by osmosis and they don't happen overnight. There's been lots of meetings taking place. The leaders have been meeting each other once a week on Zoom. There's been a lot of administrative preparation of documents and position papers. And we've been assisted by a variety of independent players so that this process is owned by all the parties sitting around the table. We're very lucky to have the very able Professor William Gumede, who's going to independently chair the next 2 days proceedings because he has experience in putting coalitions together in these type of negotiations. And it was him who pointed out to us that the two most successful economies currently on the African continent are Mauritius and Cape Verde, both of which are coalition, multi-party coalition governments, and which he was involved in helping to put together. So I think the stars are really aligned here for something spectacular to happen that's going to become a hinge of history moment that South Africans will look back at in many, many years to come and mark this as the day that South Africa chose not to accept mediocrity, not to accept poor governance, not to accept corruption, but to demand better of their politicians and public representatives, to demand that they get out there and find the solutions to the problems that are going to put the people first, not the politicians.
On that note, what do you aim to achieve? What do you want to see out of this convention?
I want to see coming out of this convention a document which sets out very clearly the values and principles, the program of action, the common policies that we can adopt to be able to give South Africans hope that we've been able to put aside petty differences and to come up with something quite spectacular that's not just anti-ANC, but is proudly and patriotically pro-South Africa.
So finally, John, as the National Convention kicks off, tell us, what can you say to everybody at home?
I want to say to you at home that we've managed to get the politicians around the table, but this process is not about the politicians. It's about the people. It's about the people sitting at home with those worries and concerns. It's about the future of the country. But here's the thing. We can't do this alone. We need the power of the people of South Africa to come together and help us create a majority in this next election. You can only do this if you're registered to vote. The power in the next election will rest in the hands of the registered. So you need to play your role by going today to check.da.org.za and make sure that you, but not only you, everyone in your household, your friends, your families, your colleagues, your associates, your people you play sport with, are all registered to vote. We can get this majority over the line, but we're going to need your help to do it.
Thank you, John. That was the leader of the official opposition in Parliament, John Steenhuisen. Please follow and like our social media accounts and join into the conversation using hashtag National Convention 2024, and we will give you more live updates here from the convention. Stay tuned.